The acting Secret Service director making shocking admissions over the agency's failure to protect Donald Trump from a would-be assassin. The director promising to get tough on his agents who made mistakes without actually saying the word fired. Then as we learn new details on what happened in those critical moments leading up to the shooting.
Neither the Secret Service counter-sniper teams nor members of the former president's security detail had any knowledge that there was a man on the roof of the AGR building with a firearm.
So just to clarify, U.S. Secret Service counter-snipers did not have radio communications?
Not with the local CS folks that were providing a support.
Has anyone been suspended with or without pay? Has anyone been fired?
And if in fact there were policy violations and they are substantiated, those employees will be held accountable.
A veteran Secret Service agent telling Fox that management needs to be held accountable while calling them, quote, the kings of cover-up. They continued, the three things that failed us in Butler were lack of communication, which is a leadership issue, lack of personnel, which is a leadership issue, and lack of the use of technology, which is also a leadership issue. Judge, I want to come to you first on the transmission issue. We talked about this a little bit earlier in the week. Your thoughts on their lack of syncing?
Well, first of all, let me make a generic comment.
Okay.
This guy, Rowe, is he's a bureaucratic, bloviating BSer, okay? All he says is, yeah, we made mistakes, it was a bad day, but we really don't know what happened. Are you kidding me? It's been 20 days since a former president was literally shot, and you have no answers. And if there were policy violations, a person will be held accountable. You can't figure out if there were policy violations. Was there a staging area? Was there a meeting? Who was in charge of communications? I don't want to hear from you because you only want to save your job. I want to hear from the heads of the different departments that were involved in the threat assessment assignments, in the personnel assignments, and whether or not individuals who were on the ground had any communication with the Secret Service on the stage, because even the Secret Service was in danger because of the ineptitude of this guy. And I don't want to hear from him anymore. He has no answers. A 20-year-old outsmarted the United States Secret Service, which apparently is a $3 billion federal agency. I don't want to go over it again. The kid's on the roof. He's walking on the roof. People are yelling, there's a guy on a roof. The kid got the gun there. The Secret Service refused to have a drone with the locals. There was no local cops have a staging area. Local cops have communications where we're on the same frequencies. It's outrageous, and I think this guy's got to go. I can't even. Yeah. I can't say it. I can't because I can't say it on television.
Well, you have said it, so we got your meaning.
Did you get the meaning?
I got it, loud and clear. Could we play the SOT about the drones?
We did not have a drone on site. We did not put a drone up. Based on the information I have right now, I am aware that there was a request from a local agency to offer to fly a drone on that day, and that is also part of the mission assurance review that I've asked to get some better insight in. One of the other changes that I implemented when I became the acting director is we are now going to leverage the use of unmanned aerial systems at sites now.
Do you feel relieved now, Jesse, that we're going to use some drones?
Why, if someone's offering you a free drone, do you turn it down? Yeah. That doesn't make any sense. Hey, here's a drone so you can spy on the people trying to kill the president. No thanks. It doesn't make any sense. He also said, Jessica, this was the first time they've ever had counter snipers for Donald Trump this election. They didn't use them in the Bronx when he had high-rises surrounding him in the Bronx. They didn't have any counter snipers in the Bronx. In Wildwood, New Jersey, with 100,000 people by the coastline, in the boardwalk, didn't have any counter snipers. This was the first time Donald Trump, this election cycle, ever had counter snipers. And they're saying that it was only because there was an Iranian threat against his life. There has been an Iranian threat against his life since he waxed Soleimani. So I don't even believe that. I believe that they denied this, and all of these whistleblowers are saying these were denied requests. There was another whistleblower that said that there was a request for Secret Service threat assessment agents, and that guy, Rowe, the BSer, as Judge so politely describes him, personally cut these Secret Service agents that were supposed to do the threat assessment. That is absolutely crazy. And how do you not know there's a guy on the roof and you're using text messaging? It's a $3 billion agency and you, guy on a roof with gun. What? That's not how you communicate.
Jimmy, do you think that there will be a change in the way that campaigning is going to happen through the rest of the election?
I hope not, because I think it demonstrates weakness on the world stage that we can't protect our own leaders on our own homeland. Like, if they're not safe here, we're not safe here. And what are we saying to the world now? We don't run this joint anymore. But don't worry, because the acting director is actually giving Trump this new technology. It's called a scarecrow. They're going to have a scarecrow at every rally, and it'll spook off the street. I mean, it's so embarrassing to me that nobody gets fired. I think it's the biggest problem with government and the best argument between having a private sector guy in there. A guy in the private sector, the CEO doesn't want to own anyone else's failures downstream. So you fire them just for your own credibility with the people you're trying to lead. And this, nobody gets fired. You know what I mean? Generals didn't get fired in Afghanistan. Mayorkas should be gone for the border. Kim Cheadle only stepped down because they heard the new headquarters has a sloped roof. Okay, the point is, fire people. This is it just demonstrates weakness all the way across the board. And I hate admitting to the world that we're not safe and we don't know what we're doing. It's gross.
Kennedy, what do you think?
I think he's Kim Cheadle in a tie. I think his answers are just as unsatisfactory and unserious. But according to these whistleblowers, he actually had more of a hand in neutering the technology that could have been utilized by the Secret Service. Not just drones, but also, you know, the program throughout. He made these massive cuts. And it makes you go, oh, maybe there's a reason you have all of this technology so you can communicate, so you can see everything that's going on. And we are learning that one of those drones could have spotted and neutralized the shooter. I'm not sure exactly what that means.
Neither am I.
But I'm fascinated by the concept because, you know, I want to know more about the technology. But we're also learning more about the agency itself from the whistleblowers who are either in the agency and are worried about retaliation and are coming forward to senators like Josh Hawley anonymously, and people who used to be senior agents, and they're the ones who are saying, this is what we've been screaming about for years, these shoddy hiring practices, this forced DEI, the nepotism, the agents or, you know, prospective agents who fail polygraph tests but are somehow whisked right into the agency when they don't have the background, the proper training, and they shouldn't be the ones who are protecting the lives of presidents, vice presidents, former presidents, and their families. And it's not a Republican issue. Democrats should be scared as well. You better make damn sure that you are protecting these people at these campaign events, and they're also not saying, man, we are rethinking everything, we are beefing things up, we have 5 layers where we only had 2 before, and this is where we really screwed up. But you're not hearing that. You're just hearing, yeah, you know, the mission assurance, and we're giving it a little bit of a rethink. It's like, oh, I wonder why the Secret Service has a 30% approval rating. And this is the problem with federal law enforcement, because you have people on the ground and the FBI and the Secret Service and elsewhere who are warriors who want to do their jobs and want to do it well. Then you have these figureheads who screw everybody. They're only out for themselves, and they give entire agencies a bad name.
All right.
Other than that, I just
That was
Everything
actually-
is fabulous.
That's a Bon Jovi song. You give Secret Service a bad name.
That's right.
A lot of people don't know that. That's what it was originally about.
Okay.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.